Kabrutus. Welcome back to Unauthorized Opinions. Let me tell you what's going on in my mind when I hear the Portuguese stuff in the background. There's 50 dogs running around. People are playing a soccer game in your living room. There might be a jiu-jitsu tournament happening. And I don't even know what kind of food you guys eat. Maybe just some chicken. Portuguese chicken is good.
We eat tons of meat, rice, and beans. That's
That's
that
good.
would be the pillar of the Brazilian diet. Every day you have meat, rice, and beans. That's it.
Interesting. I wanted to talk to you about um, well, we get along so well. I wanted to do a podcast with you anyways, but I wanted to talk about the updates to the website and stuff that's going on in the gaming world, of course,
Sure.
with DEIDetected.com. We all love it. We're all participating in it. I want to bring up the homepage for a second so everybody can see and see what's been going on. And one of the most interesting things, I think, lately was something that was covered about the people who started it all, I guess, Sweet Baby Inc. And the founder of that, which is Kim Belair. Now, we've seen over the years, you and I have both written and spoken about the founder, how she said so many times Sweet Baby Inc. was for women. It was for people who were oppressed. It was for people who just wanted to get their stories in video games. And then after that, Kabrutus, all these people who work at these consultancy agencies, they say we don't do that. We don't just focus on DEI. We don't write people's storylines. And we don't contribute that much to the game. We just tell you how a black character should look like. These are the things they sort of said. Can you describe for the listeners and the audience what she said in this interview that was covered recently, and what's been going on with the Sweet Baby Inc. website as well?
Okay. Sure. They in the before the Sweet Baby Detected thing, all this happened. They used to brag about this is how we champion DEI, and we want to put it in the games, storytelling, and this is why they hire us for. We have sensitive reading and all this bullshit. Let me put it that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after, people discovered that and got to know about it, and then they started, I don't know if downplaying is the correct word for I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying. It is right.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
What? Yeah. Thanks. What they actually what they actually do in those games, they. I mean, she said that we just say how a black character should look like, but at the same time, in the same interview, she also said that, for example, Saga Anderson from Alan Wake 2, she's a white blonde woman originally, but they changed her into a black woman because, yes, because of course, because right, because it needs to be a black woman, because the word is black and this kind of stuff. That, in my books, that's way more than just telling how a black character should look like, right? And let me make you guys know that are watching this a question, like, very quickly. Why do we need people telling us how a black character should look like if we have the freedom to, for example, do a white character the way we like, for him or her to look, Asians, even indigenous? Why do only black characters need black people telling us how they should look like? This is this is they creating a problem, right? Quote unquote problem. And at the same time, they're selling the solution. Hey, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be racist, you should give us money so we tell you how to make a black character without you being racist. Wonderful, isn't it? But hey, this is just for the social justice. We don't care about money at all. That's for
Yeah.
that, right? And that's basically what she's. That's one of the things that I've had the disgusting pleasure of of listening to and get to know about. Yeah.
Yeah, that is one of the things that people, I think, that don't pay attention to these topics don't realize is that at the end of the road of the person who says this content is racist or it doesn't have enough gay people or whatever people in it. It's always you need to pay me so that I can fix that for you. And then what happens, especially in government positions, what happens when somebody says okay to that question, or says yes, I agree with that there's not enough this and that in media or in the government or whatever. What happens is those people go and then hire other people that they are friends with. So what ends up happening, and I believe this was the case for, was it Norway or Denmark that had the game made by the government, made with government money?
You're talking about Dustborn, right? It was a country from the North Europe, but I think it
Yeah,
was. I
it
don't
was
remember which one exactly. I can search very quickly
it
for
was
you.
one of those ones, and you look at the companies that are making these games,
It's
and they
Norway. Norway. Norway.
Norway, and
Yeah.
they hire other companies that are pushing DEI. So you've got government money coming in from this instance and a few other ones. There was an EU funded game as well that I'm forgetting. Um, and that was the game with the "Don't touch me" or "I'm black" with the cops or whatever. And so the government money comes into the company that says I support DEI, so let me run this. Well, I guess there's a person before that. The government money comes to the politician who says we need to support DEI initiatives in media, and then that government person hires the studio who says we will create something DEI focused, and then that studio will hire DEI consultancies. So none of it is just, hey, we're just going to make a game about a black person. Like, let's just say like you have a game about like Black Adam or Cable from X-Men or something. It can never just be a game about a person. It has to be a game, and then the focus around it has to include these identities, and it has to have the storylines. And I don't know if we ever talked on camera about Dragon Age, Veilguard, but man, was that like, I think that was the worst it's ever been. Where it's like you can't just have because you did the video about it when you were creating a character right when it came out, and they have the surgery scars and they have all these other things you can add to your body, and that wasn't enough. The entire storyline, or a large chunk of the storyline, had to have been, they had to include for some reason, the monster coming out to its parents as non-binary and lecturing them, the pronoun argument, lecturing somebody how to properly use somebody's pronouns. So it is never, and I check back, and I'm sure you do this once in a while, you see a news story about this, you say, hey, it's been a few weeks or a couple months since I checked to make sure these people are still doing the same thing, and they always are. It's never, we just want a game featuring a black person or featuring a trans person. It's, we want that, but also the entire game has to be about that. So I said all that to say that these people will go and they will do this. They will receive money rolling downhill from companies and people in the government even, and distribute it to their friends. And then at the end of the day, they will lie about what they've done. And they will say, we don't actually do that. We don't actually have a problem with pushing our viewpoints, even though we used to say that. And that is very much what Kim Belair has done. Now, if you go back and compare, and I can bring that up in a second, what the Sweet Baby Inc. website used to look like compared to what it is today, I'll look that up when I let you talk. It is completely different. They've removed so much stuff from the website that it's unrecognizable. But something I wanted to focus on that she said in this video we're talking about, Kim Belair, founder of Sweet Baby Inc. and other bullshit. There are thousands of videos about us, but of those people, no one has written us to say, hey, can I just ask a couple questions about how this works? So she's claiming people don't email them or talk to them or ask them any questions. I believe some of the writers we know said that they have emailed them. I showed you proof that I had emailed them twice
Yeah.
when this stuff was starting, and they just say it didn't happen. Why do you think they just say that this stuff isn't true? Why do you think that they say that they don't do the things that they actually do?
I think that's a good question. I honestly never thought about this in that way, but if I had to guess, I would say that it has a lot to do with this very same reason on why, for example, in the same interview she gave, she pretends that everything is tough. For example, I don't know if you listened to the entire thing, and if you did, congratulations, you're a hero. But But no, in this interview, they mentioned that everything started after Spider-Man 2, which is wrong. It's a lie. Everything started in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which was when I've created the creator page and everything, and the rest is history. Everybody knows
Mhm.
about it, I guess. Anyway, I think so. She says this, both of these things, because they want to deviate from the Chris Kindred doing, like when he attacked me and tried to make me lose everything, and that's how the strikes and the effect started going on. Because if she admits that they refuse to talk to people, then they would need to answer the following question: why did these people try to contact you guys? Then they would have to say, oh, it was because Chris Kindred attacked. They would have to acknowledge that Chris Kindred attacked a fellow gamer, that was
Mhm.
just building a list. And now and this list is now, way more about than just Sweet Baby Inc. But they just trying to bury this side of history. They trying to make sure that nobody remembers it, and nobody asks them the questions that they do not want to answer. And she she won't acknowledge, that you guys are trying to contact, because then she would have to admit that, no, okay, Chris Kindred attacked Kabrutus, no, a gamer, and also we refused to answer these people, to talk about this problem. No, and to this day, they still pretend that Chris Kindred never did this
Mhm.
to me, and and they are, and as you can hear again, I'm gonna say it again, as you can hear in the interview, they trying to change what caused the gamers to start hating them, because they don't want to give the list any kind of relevance. They don't want to give any relevance to me, and they're gonna simply deny it as much as they can. That's I think that's these two things are very related. They probably are, because of the same reason. I would say, if I had to guess.
I want to bring up their website now, and the reason why we're focusing so much on this is not because they appear to say things that are not true,
Uh-huh.
but they're the people that are huge drivers in this because of games like Alan Wake 2, huge game that people were looking forward to and, of course, ruined it. Spider-Man 2, God of War. This is the website how it looks today. You'll see at the top there's no other tabs other than contact and in French because, of course, it's in Quebec, which is, I think Quebec and Sweden have the worst. Canada as a whole and Sweden have the worst video game developers who are full of DEI desperation all the time. No other tabs up here. We'll show you what they say now, and I'll bring up the article that I originally wrote when this all started popping off and what it used to say. We work
Hmm.
within scope to cover all your script writing needs, from cinematic and dialogue to naming 500 pieces of armor. We know every word counts. Consultation. No matter the stage of production, we can strengthen story pitches, world building, and character development needs and other design demands. Right there, like they already say that they don't do this stuff. Like I don't understand. Like they say that they don't work on like this. Like they say they deny everything that they even say that they do.
Yeah.
Authenticity and sensitivity. Under that, it says we approach sensitivity by working with our existing narrative and documentation to bring out its natural authenticity and emotional resonance. We don't look for red flags. We highlight green ones. So here they're saying we don't change the story. We work with what you already have and bring out the natural authenticity of it because they
Changing a woman from
yeah.
blonde white all of the sudden to it's so much natural. It's so natural, don't you think? We change skin colors all the time. It's so natural.
So the only other page is like the contact page that everything links to, and now
Yeah.
I will show you what used to be on the website. This is an article I wrote in March 2024. So on the website, and I linked it right here, the same website, Sweet Baby Inc.
Mhm.
They called themselves an inclusion-focused narrative and consultation company. That did not come up in what we just read. It said the company creates storylines, performs diversity consultations for existing storylines, and acts as an approval process for major gaming companies to pass their DEI checklist. And I remember they used to have a checklist on their website.
And you know
And,
what this checklist is for, right? So they can have the ESG funding.
yes, of course.
Yeah. It's all
So
about the money. It's all about the money.
in it, where were we here? Multitude of. So after the checklist, it notes its process. So this is what they used to have on their website as what their process was. It includes a multitude of perspectives while bringing in diverse voices to solve diverse problems. Its website also states the company provides cultural consultation, sensitivity and inclusivity reading, risk and opportunities assessment, and more. In addition to that, it can assemble and lead teams of new and marginalized voices. The company also provides resources for new and marginalized talent with the potential to change this industry if given the proper support. So I forgot about that part. So they say not only can they, if you need, a transgender person to come in and build a team of those people, we can do that for you. They also used to have a page where they would have job postings or trying to link you to jobs if you are a new and marginalized voice. What is a marginalized voice? Anybody they want, basically.
Yeah, that's the criteria.
And so this is what Kim Belair told Marketplace in 2021, that the company Sweet Baby Inc. was created as a place for women, marginalized identities, and those who don't have a place. And she said she can make the industry a better and safer place. I'm just trying to look for any other quotes. This is about Chris Kindred, who was attacking your group. The quote was, report the F out of this. We can say fuck. Report the fuck out of this group and report the creator since he loves his account so much. So he's trying to get you kicked off of Steam back in the day. And he said that the group was a curator harassment group and claimed the group's creator, which is you, was trying to get away with discriminatory language when you literally just said, don't buy this game. It has DEI in it. Like, I don't even know if you went as far to say, don't buy this. I think you just said has DEI.
I just said it has involvement with Sweet Baby Inc. That's all.
There you go. And I think that's it for the quotes, but you will notice that none of that stuff is any longer on their website, so they can deny it, so that they can say they never did that stuff. They said they would change your story for you, make it more diverse. They said they could create a diversity team for you, or a diverse team of marginalized voices, and even help you find employment to make the gaming industry more diverse or whatever. And she said she started the company to make it a safe space for women and marginalized people. So if that isn't obviously your goal in DEI, and that's not DEI, I don't know what is. And now they just denied. It's been a year and a half. And they're just like, never happened. Nobody emails us. We don't do that anymore. Or we never did. And all we do is we take what you've got in the game and we make it bright and shiny. But they did. What was the last game they did?
I have it on my list. The last one I know about. Oh, of course, there's the Winterboro. It's coming out, I guess, next year. But there is another game. I forgot the name. It's a small indie one. Let me just search very quickly. I have it on my website. It's the something. Oh yeah, it's Henry Halfhead. Yeah, Henry Halfhead. That was the latest one. I got to know about coming from them. That has involvement with them. Um, and there's Winterboro, which is coming out next year, if I'm not mistaken. But Henry Halfhead should be in the list, both on Steam and also on the DEIDetected.com website. It's in the list right now.
I want to ask you also about the Pro Sweet Baby Inc. page that came out.
Oh.
And I'll bring that story up right now.
Sure.
This is on the website as well, DEIDetected.com. And the reason why I'm showing it so much is because I, the other writers, I'm not writing as much as everybody else. I'll admit that. Everybody, okay? I'm sorry. But we're really filling out the website with great content, which is why you guys should go. This is by Mike Dot. Mike seems like a very nice guy, smart guy.
He's a very nice guy.
He says, it seems like DEI Detected now has some competition with asterisks. And it is called simply called Sweet Baby Inc. Blessed, and I think we can go there. They're up to 980. So if you hate us and you're watching this podcast because you hate us, you can go ahead and follow that. And they are suggesting Sweet Baby Inc. games. So and DEI games. You'll notice that some of these games are also on the DEI Detected list.
This creator page basically mirrors what I do on my the Sweet Baby Detected. They just
So they're just copying everything you put up there.
Yeah, but they switch the for example, if it's recommended, then it's not recommended. If it has the I, then it recommended. No, it just inverts the classification. But yeah,
that's very lazy, and it's very much, I don't know, reminiscent of like a Twitter page from 2016 or something, where it's just like, you don't like this, I like it, so I'm just gonna you know what it reminds me of is when somebody starts this happened recently, somebody starts a GoFundMe for somebody. It happened with I don't know if you've read about the Magic the Gathering guy who was kicked out of tournaments for his MAGA hat recently. I just did a podcast with him, and
I didn't know that.
Oh, I'll send it to you after.
Was it an official tournament or?
So what happened? He has been kicked out of other official tournaments and stores all the time. This one, it's called, I forget what it's called, but it's like one of the most popular ones by Card Titan. I don't know if you've heard of that company. In Pennsylvania, I think it happened last weekend. They kicked him out because what they said was people complained about his behavior last year at the last tournament. So.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody
they took 1 year to finally listen to these complaints.
Exactly. And he told me all about how there's Bernie Sanders t-shirts. Somebody had like a mat that I guess you play on for Magic cards. I don't play Magic cards.
But I know what it is. Yeah.
And they have a mat, and somebody had Trump's head cut off as the graphic on their mat. And this is all allowed, but they don't like him because all he does is wear a MAGA hat. He doesn't say anything about it. He said he's never had any bad interactions while playing, and he's like one of the best ever. I think it's the vintage genre he's in, but I looked up his stats page, I guess you could call it. He's won like 4 times in the last year. And he just wins a bunch of tournaments, and that's obviously why they hate him.
It's the format he plays. Magic has many different formats and for tournaments. I used to play Magic myself, like for a long time when I was a teenager, during my teenage days. So I remember some stuff. I still know how to play, but the current modern Magic the Gathering, I'm not very familiar with.
Well, it's super gay and progressive, and he's a very polite guy, and he really wants to bring people together, and he seems to think that he can bring, or he's doing his best to bring the left and the right, which is
just like Kirk was doing before.
Yes. So he's being very polite, much more polite than I would be, and he seems to think that these people will join him and be fair and even with him, and I think they won't, because my point was going to be somebody started a GoFundMe or a Kick or whatever it was page for him to cover his travel expenses because he had already paid to travel there and get a hotel, and then after that somebody started a different page that said we should punish him more and we should be harsher on him. And you can go back and his name's Joe Brennan, Brennan, and you can go back to like 2019, and there's just Reddit threads calling him a Nazi. They've been calling him a Nazi for almost a decade now.
Always.
And so that's just what this page, this pro Sweet Baby Inc. page reminded me of, is that you'll do something that's popular, and then somebody will make a page opposite of it with no heart and no actual drive behind it. It reminds me of Kabrutus when I used to work at a different news company. There was a YouTube channel who would just analyze every single video that the news company put out and just to call us Nazis. And my very first show that I was hosting on that show, they claimed in it that I was paid to do it to promote. It was Dave Rubin. I don't know if you've ever heard of this host on YouTube named Dave Rubin.
Not actually, no.
I interviewed him, and because I mentioned his website at the end of it, they go, "Oh, there it is. That's he was paid to say that. That's why he got the interview, because he agreed to say that or something like that." And it's just completely untrue, and it's just I don't know how you start a page or a movement or a channel based on just disliking somebody or something. That seems really sick and crazy to do.
Yeah, I mean, those. I mean, here in Brazil, I have people like this over internet, and I like calling them. How can I say? Um, Carrapato, parasites. That would be, yeah, that would be. I mean, because we have a Brazilian word for it as a carrapato means those small ticklers that no stick to dogs' fur. I
A
forgot the name
tick.
in
That's
English.
this is crazy. It's a tick. We found a tick today in my house, and we were because somebody just came in from like the
Tick,
woods or whatever.
exactly. Tick.
Yeah,
That
that's
damn dude. That bro. I swear. I swear. Okay. That was a guess. I was thinking. Okay, how would I call it in English? Then tick came to my mind. But in Portuguese, the word is carrapato. Very different, right?
what
So
does that
that's
mean?
it's a tick. That
Yeah,
those small bugs that I don't know what the reason it's called that way. I just know it is. We found it in the dog's fur, right?
mm-hmm.
And then wow, man, tick. So that's how guys call in English. So yeah, I mean, I call them ticks, carrapatos, because they these people they do not create content.
They
They have
just
nothing to bring to the table. They are just ticks. You know, they are just sucking blood, sucking the other people's content. You know,
I think that's
and
really weird. The people who make those videos, you know those videos. There's one guy I'm thinking of. I won't say his name. He will cry. Um, it's true. And send me that. Text me that Brazilian word for tick, kahapatu.
oh
Um,
sure, sure.
they're these people who make like an hour and a half video taking somebody down, air quotes, taking them down, and it's like I think that's a little crazy to focus as much on a person. They,
It's I mean it's for example what we have in Brazil. If they see potential, let's put it that way, in that person, that can okay. If I talk about this guy, I can generate some engagement and some money in the end, and also that's how they do here. I mean, at least the ones I know about.
are there
Now
videos about you like that?
about me, yes,
Yeah, I want
yeah,
to
yeah.
look on YouTube to see what I find when I type in your name.
Yeah, there are a bunch. No, I don't know if they still do a lot. I mean, especially because I've spent 1 year without posting anything on YouTube. Now that I've recently came back, like almost less than 2 weeks ago, it was like 10 days ago, I started posting videos again. By the way, if you're watching this, go check my channel, Kabrutus at Kabrutus DEID, no, on YouTube. Um, and I don't know if they still doing it, but I know some Brazilians that do. You know, in Brazil, it's kind of different. The biggest motivation for people to talk bad about me, to talk shit about me in Brazil, you're gonna find it so silly. But I'm gonna tell you, it's console war stuff.
Really?
Yes, because you know, as you see, for example, just yesterday I posted, I was making fun of the latest Pokemon game. And before that, I was making fun of Game Pass price hike, and also I was
Mm-hmm.
making fun of Sony first party exclusive. No, I have no allegiances. No, I just talk shit. I just about anything that I think it's wrong. You know, I have no filters. I have no. Oh, but this is from X company. I'm not gonna. No, bro. No one is safe from Kabrutus from Kabru's ire, you know. So these people they get offended because I said something not so good about their favorite console. That's or a game that's being released by a first party of their favorite gaming company, you know, something like this. In Brazil, it's more about this, you know. So we have Xbox fanatical channels that hate me because I talked shit about the Game Pass price hike. There are some Sony fanboys channel that hate me because I absolutely despise Naughty Dog, Santa Monica, and no, Insomniac, and now Sucker Punch. Unfortunately, Sucker Punch used to be on my nice list because of Ghost of Tsushima, but now they are not in my nice list anymore because of fucking Ghost of Tsushima. And Nintendo is a little bit light because Brazil, we don't have many Nintendo fans here.
Mm.
We have more Sega fans and also Sony slash Xbox and PlayStation are way more popular than Nintendo here in Brazil. Um, and even Sega is still more popular than Nintendo here. Nintendo Brazil has never been a Nintendo powerhouse, so we have less. I have less Nintendo fanboys angry with me, but bro, Sony and Xbox, Jesus Christ.
There's only one video I can find that says, I'm not even sure if it's against you, but it put you in the thumbnail as
What's written?
Oblivion Remaster Outrage. Kabrutus DEI Detected needs assigned gender, and he put like makeup on you. I don't know.
No. This guy, yeah, this guy doesn't like me as far as I know.
That's too bad. There's a lot of other better
He's one of
clips.
the. Yeah, there are some people that makes fun of me because they are progressive people. I mean, here in Brazil, we have a bunch of those assholes, unfortunately. Yeah, so some of them are like this, some of them are just fucking left. We have a fucking communist government right now running the country.
Is it
So
actually like officially communist?
yes,
What's the party called?
PT, Partido dos Trabalhadores. It's the Workers' Party. Partido
Oh
dos
my
Trabalhadores.
god.
I'm not kidding, bro. They are bro. Didn't you know our president? He meets with Maduro from Venezuela like from time to time, and they shake their hands and they hug each other. He publicly supports Maduro.
It's literally a red star.
It is.
The Workers' Party, center left. Oh, excuse you, they're center left. Apparently, that's why they have a communist star. Social democracy. Excuse me.
The president Luis Inácio, he's the president right now, and he publicly admits he's a socialist, he's a communist.
What year was the last election?
We're gonna have presidential elections next year,
When was the one that they won?
2022.
Okay, I want to see how many like seats they have versus the other party.
That it's a republic. We don't.
Oh, nice. It's better than here.
So I live in the northeast side, so CE. You see the CE. This is my state,
Mm-hmm.
and I am moving to the south region because south region, Brazilian south region, and São Paulo are pretty much the only decent places you can find in the country. And so just so you know, red here means communists. The blue here are the good guys. I know that in United States it's the opposite. The red means it represents the good guys,
So
and the blue.
you're living in a super left wing area then.
Yeah, CE. That's my state.
I
Yeah,
don't know if my mouse
CE.
can be seen. I don't think it's showing. Oh
You
yeah,
can
you
it
can.
can see. Yeah, I live here. This is my home, my hometown, in a city called Fortaleza. But I'm moving in 2 weeks, basically, and I'm going to PR down there. Look at that. PR. Yes, this. I used to live in SC, Santa Catarina, which is a based place. They are the most anti-leftist state in the whole country. Um, but I'm gonna move to PR this time around because it's closer to São Paulo, and São Paulo, is where the money is. If you wanna,
Hmm.
so basically, the country. Just one. Let me just tell you this. Just so you know,
Sure.
the only region that voted for Lula, the PT, the Workers' Party, is the Northeast region, which is the region I live in. Pretty much all the other regions choose Bolsonaro, but Brazil has this, who the people. I mean, the guy that gets elected, it's the popular vote. We don't have
Hmm.
It's not like the United States where
That's
there
not
are.
good. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. In fact, I think that. So yeah, I mean that's you can see that they only won one region, but it was enough to And but I am not allowed to say what I really think about this. because here in this country, if you deny these election results, if you say you
Ah,
don't believe in it, you can go to jail. I'm not kidding. Brazil right now is in a very, very dark place.
hmm.
The authoritarianism here is escalating in a very scary speed. And next year we're gonna have presidential elections, and if these guys won, yeah, dude, I don't know. You're gonna have help me go to Canada, bro.
Yes, temporary
Cause
foreign workers program here. We talked about this,
yeah, yeah,
and the reason nobody used to have a problem with immigration here until it was 30 million Indians. So if we can get a Brazilian guy working at the video game store here, I don't think anyone would mind. Why are these two places so much more right wing? Is there any specific reason? Does it just happen that way?
I'm gonna tell you just one thing, and then you're gonna realize for yourself. It has borders with Venezuela.
Okay,
You see, you see why?
Venezuela communists, and they see how that is.
Yeah, and there are tons of people fleeing from
Mm.
Venezuela getting to the country. I think um, it's side of Venezuela, Bolivia. Let me just make sure. I don't want to say anything wrong. Oh yeah, it's Venezuela. Yes, it's Venezuela. Yes, it is.
I'll bring up a map of South America here.
It's Venezuela. Because we also have Colombia and other countries, no Suriname and other countries up there, but no, it's Venezuela. Yes, it is. Guyana. Yeah, yeah, it's
Interesting.
Venezuela.
Right. So up here and then here were the
Yeah,
places. That's interesting, and you'd think that would tell people something because it's not like up here in North America where there's a country next to us that's communist and you can go visit it and see how shitty it is. Down there, I get that Brazil is a gigantic country,
it is.
but it should, you should. I don't know. Is life extremely different depending on which?
Exactly,
Is that
exactly.
how it is in Brazil? Because here you could go from one side of the country to the other, and it'd be generally the same. Like the big cities will be shit. That will be the same, but the people and the life of people will be generally the same. That's different in Brazil.
No, yeah, yeah. I mean, Brazil, for example, the you see Fortaleza in the right side, Fortaleza right there, on the right side, upper right side,
Okay, there
Fortaleza.
it
This
is.
is the city I live in. This is my hometown. Living here is totally different from living, for example, in if you go to a little bit down, go down a little bit more. Do you see Florianopolis?
Yes.
And do you see
Yeah.
Curitiba? Curitiba right above
Yeah.
Joinville, Curitiba. These places are like the top tier places in Brazil. The life, it's very different. You have way more quality of life and way less cost of life compared to where I live. The safety levels are no, it feels like a different country. And I can say this because I've lived in both the South and
Hmm.
North Brazil, and I also lived in São Paulo. So this small area, the South region plus São Paulo are the decent places in Brazil. So if you ever come over, um, bear this in mind. But in the North region is where you can find the best beaches and also beaches. So it depends on what you want. And 1 second, my cat wants to get in. Let me just open the
Oh, show
door.
us the cat. Show
Sure,
us,
sure,
show us the cat, Kabrutus. We want to see it.
sure.
I also want to ask you about favelas. Now, we see those on TV. Oh, I hear the cat.
Yeah, she's demanding. Um, she's demanding food and sorry, I have to close my camera because
It's okay.
she's a
Nice.
clingy one. She's clingy. She likes
So, can you explain to people who've never been to Brazil or have not seen a lot about it, why there's favelas? Do they exist everywhere? Is that just one city? Why? Because I see that there's some other South American places that have it. Is it just the fact of people lived on the side of a mountain and they built houses that way? Is there a reason why those types of houses exist? Is there anything to it, or is it just poor people built this place to live, and they just happen to live there?
That's an interesting question. I never had to explain this in English, so I'm gonna give it a try. Okay, so favelas are nowadays favelas. They exist in the majority of Brazilian big cities. Like big capitals. For example, I know that Rios has the most famous favelas and stuff, but favelas also do exist. For example, in São Paulo, even here in my city, we have a bunch of them. My city is the fourth biggest in terms of population in the whole country, so we have many favelas here. Recife, which is a very close city to the northeast. I mean, capitals in general all have favelas in some degree. Some have more, some have less, but no, they usually have. And how and to answer how they started, no, the favelas got started. It's basically the northeast region, which again is the region I hail from, is the region I'm living in. Is the we have some weather problems here. Those, for example, we spend most of the year without any kind of rainings, and in the past, where no, you had to rely on no agriculture. Is that a road?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to. Um, that really, how can I say, that really hurt economy, and that really made people starve. And no, so we had in the past something that we call exodo rural, which is no an exodus, rural exodus, that many people fled from the northeast. Remember, Brazil has a north region and a northeast. The northeast is different from the north region. North region is the region that is close to Amazon rainforest, so they definitely don't have problems with water or this kind of stuff. But the northeast region, she is sorry, I think she northeast region, yeah. So people started migrating, and they were very poor people and trying to find a good life in the south and southeast region. São Paulo is part of the southeast region, so it was mainly for São Paulo and Rio, which are in the back in the day were the two most how can I say economic. São Paulo is still the biggest by far in terms of economy, but Rio is not. No, the South region nowadays is, I think it's way better. But anyway, so they tried to find a job and tried to find a better life, and many of them didn't have where to stay. They couldn't find jobs and build a proper life, like buy a house and this kind of stuff. So they had to go to places and literally steal land. They just, okay, so there's nobody here, I'm going to just build my house in here. Here in Brazil, if you do this, and if there is a law that that says if you stay a due amount of time in a land and nobody they claims that ownership, and it will belong to you.
See.
So it's that's Brazil. And then that's how they started forming favelas, because these people started, they forming communities around the same area that nobody cared about, let's put it that way, right? Areas that nobody ever wanted to live. For example, the mountain that you were talking about, we call it mohos, which is, and then that's how it started, and then, but it wasn't violent in the beginning, it wasn't violent, but then, the dealers and criminal factions started showing. For example, in my city, just this week that we are talking about, some criminal factions entered a neighborhood here, like less than 2 kilometers from where I live, and they kicked out people from their houses because they want to use their houses for storing drugs and weapons. And this shit happens pretty much here in my region only. And guess what? It's the most leftist region of Brazil.
That makes
So
sense.
so yeah, so it's also the most violent. It's the worst in terms of economy. It's a complete disgrace, dude. And it's the same pattern we see in other countries. The regions that are more, left leaning. They tend to have less jobs opportunities. The economy is worse. It's more violent, criminal. The crime rate, the homicide rate here is very scary. The city I'm talking to you from, Fortaleza, used to be the third most violent city in the whole world. We were top three in the world. Right now, I'm not sure how we are. I don't know if it got a little better. I don't know. But I mean, it has Mexican levels, if you understand. And it's if you go to the South region, it's not like this. So really two different countries, and south and northeast are really two different countries. And yeah, so that's how favela got started. And not all favelas are violent, not all of them, but I wouldn't recommend you going to any of them, because you never know. There are some cases of tourists from United States, Europe, and other, that they if you go to Rio, there are people that, hey, I can take you for a tour in favelas for money, and they go by a car. It's like a safari, bro. I'm telling you, it's crazy. And some of these tourists, sorry, got killed. They got shot
Jeez.
by drug dealers, by criminal factions, because they didn't want people showing their business. Let's put it that way.
Let me
And
ask. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't recommend you doing this at all.
Let me ask you: are there still places in Brazil that the government doesn't? I'll use the word doesn't care about, or doesn't take care of, or doesn't fund very well. Do, is that the reality, or when did that start happening? Has that always been that way? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, has Brazil gotten to a point? Does it exist in a point right now where the government basically has police and has presence everywhere? Has it ever been that way? And is there a reason why it isn't that way, or is that how it actually is? If you see what I'm saying.
I'm
Like,
sorry, I'm not sure if I understood what you tried to say.
are some parts of the country left on their own and the government doesn't care about them?
Oh, okay, okay. Uh, you mean federal government
Yes,
or
federal
okay,
government.
okay. Now that's there are some play. For example, Santa Catarina, which is not the most anti-left state in the whole country. They never ever in the whole history elected a single leftist governor. They are the only state in Brazil that never did. That. I mean, other states are very anti-left too, but at some point they elected one or two. But Santa Catarina never. So they get ignored by federal government a lot. I mean, when I lived in there, what I heard many people complaining was there was this high road that was supposed to connect Santa Catarina to São Paulo, because no, Brazil still uses a lot of for um, um, truck drivers for with cargo, from to sell stuff. It's how it was my cat. It's how we don't have many trains, but we
Mm-hmm.
use a lot of trucks to move cargo, to transport stuff for companies and industrial stuff, right? So this high road was supposed to tie to connect Santa Catarina directly to São Paulo and no others, to make things better, to make them, and they never finished it. No, the government, they on purpose. I mean, that's what the people that live there claim. I mean,
Hmm.
they claim to me on purpose. They never finished it because I mean they don't see many value, because they know they won't get many voters from
Hmm.
there. No, they definitely won't. So they
So
just pretend they don't exist.
so is there parts
Which
of the?
which in the end I think it's better actually,
Hmm.
because
I
they
can
don't
see it.
interfere with their life much. No?
Now, are there places in the country where if you call the police or you call an ambulance, you know it's not coming, or or it's not even available? I'm just trying to gauge how, like, in general or on average, how the country is to live in. Like, are there parts where it's just like you're on your own essentially?
Oh yeah, for example, here where I live, you can call an ambulance. I mean, officially you can call an ambulance pretty much any place, but
Hmm.
it will take a long time. Probably you're gonna be dead once you arrive, once it arrives, you know. So what happens in Brazil is that, yeah, we have a public healthcare system, we have this, but people still pay for private healthcare plans because you can't rely on them. You know, and for example, again, I'm gonna mention the South region again. Since many people there don't need the public healthcare system, it works way better because I mean there are less people having to rely on it. Um,
Hmm.
so it works way better. In my region, the region I'm living currently and I hear you from, uh, it's how can I say? How can we say sucateado? One second. I forgot the word for it.
It's okay.
Uh, scrapped? No, 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 not scrapped. Uh, one second, because I wanna squatted, scrapped.
Scrapped. What are we talking about?
No, I'm talking about no here in my region. It's the infrastructure is very damaged. No,
Okay.
you have very old equipment and there's not much, and no, and you have many people needing it, having to rely on it because people here are way more poor, compared to the people in the south and southeast region. So, I mean, again, to answer your question, sorry, sometimes I deviate too much. So, to answer your question, yes, officially yes, but you cannot count on it if you are in certain places in the country. Definitely not. I would say that most places, especially the big cities, it's a cat stop.
All right, let's. We entered a dark circle there, but I'm
Yeah,
just so interested in it in Brazil as a country. I wanted to touch on the rating system, which I think we
yeah,
can, which is fairly new, a few weeks old now.
yeah,
You had discussed with me your idea about having the official rating system, so somebody can just look at the game and see am I going to be really disappointed with this game? Can I live with this? Maybe I'll buy it at a discounted price. Or are we, fully in the shit at DEI level 3? You can see that at deidetected.com/the DEI levels with hyphens in between, or just go at the top. And I wanted to bring up the latest level 3 that I could see, which is Forza Horizon 5. So I don't know if this is the most recent, and since the rating system is fairly new, I'd say this is probably one of the only level 3s of late. So I just wanted to give people an example of how bad things still can be, and also what an example of a level 3 is, because what we have here, what you've built with DEI Detected and Sweet Baby Ink Detected, the Steam group and the website and the Discord and everything, is really what people are going to come to when they want to quickly find out if a game is shit or not. Let's be honest. Like, if there was something like this for movies, it would be amazing. Hint, maybe I just think maybe we should do that.
I do
Oh,
think so. But I need people, to because movies. I mean, I love movies, but I mean, I cannot do movies and games, bro.
exactly.
I can barely do games.
So,
So
what
I
is it
need.
about Forza Horizon 5 that gave it a level 3, and what in your mind?
If you
What?
scroll down, you'll see.
Yeah, but I want you to explain.
Sure.
Okay, him. So right off the bat, the character select is pronouns. It's under identity.
Yeah.
He, him, she, her, they, them. It can't just be male or female for some reason. I don't know why we want to do that. But what in your mind it makes a game, and I'll bring up the definition, makes a game the top tier DEI. If you just, when you went to go write that, what was that feeling you had when you're just like, this is what I want the top level of DEI detected to be?
Yeah. I think we can. I think I can say, if I had to put in a little bit more generic perspective, basically is when a game tries to lecture you. When it becomes when it becomes political propaganda, when it becomes ideological driven stuff. No, that's the main. I would say that's the main thing here. So the
Incorporation of contemporary left wing politics,
yeah,
historical revisionism. What that would be Assassin's Creed with their
shadows. Yeah, yeah,
their black samurai that may or may not have existed and was
yeah.
also seen as a carnival event. Explicit and aggressive progressive messaging. You know, Kabrutus, I was talking to that same Magic the Gathering player about
Uh-huh.
stuff along the same lines. And I mentioned, and I want to hear what your opinion is on this. I mentioned that a lot of the things that progressives say and put out there, the trans flag, pronouns and stuff, I think that they don't think that it's political at all. I think they have gone so down the rabbit hole and been
Yeah.
propagandized so long that they think that's normal, and anyone that's why anyone outside of that they think is some sort of freak, even though it's obviously the opposite. Do you think that there is that might be the reason, and feel free to disagree with me, I don't care, but do you think that's the reason why somebody like Forza puts this in a game where they put, well, we'll just put in pronouns, that's normal, everybody does that now? Or do you think that it's on purpose, or do you think it depends?
I think it's 100% on purpose for normalizing this. For example, I mean, it's good that you brought this up because many people don't realize that this is indeed a political stand, a political thing. I know it's exactly what you're saying. They tried so hard to normalize this, in the past years that even some, let's say, right wing people, okay, let's put it that way, they see this as something that it's just bro, this isn't a just it's political statement. It's a political it's a political it's a real life contemporary left wing politics. Do you ever see any right wing politician trying to push this gender slash pronouns stuff? There isn't. So in Forza Horizon 5 case, you see that they use the word identity,
Mm-hmm.
right? And why is that? Because that is to comply with the ideology, the left wing progressive ideology, that gender and identity are two different. Actually, gender is a term that they came up with. The correct term is sex. No, I am male sex. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
masculine person. No. And cat, stop. She's attacking the table. Anyway, so they are normalizing this, and unfortunately, it works with some people. But I'm not gonna stop pointing this kind of stuff out. And can I talk a little bit about the DI levels? I have
Of course.
sure. So the DI levels, I'm gonna change it because many people still didn't get the idea, and I think I got too complex about it. No, I got it, but it's gonna change. But the criteria will remain. But I'm gonna remove the level 2. Everything's gonna be part of the DI detected level, which is gonna replace the level 3, and level 1 is gonna be called DEI watch, DEI something like this. It's just for games that are not DEI games, but I mean, as I described in there, these aren't necessary DI games, but they include one or more small, simple DI-oriented design choices that some may interpret as political statements. So why is this? Well, for example, Digimon Time Stranger, which is a game that's been having a massive success for the franchise. Many people loved it, and I am interested. I want to get the disc for the PlayStation 5. I want to play it. So many people were upset that I've put it in the list. Many people complained with me, and but bro, it's the eye level 1. But people didn't understand it. No, I mean, the vast majority of people just want a buy, not buy, and free. So I'm gonna turn things a little bit simpler, but I'm not gonna stop pointing this kind of stuff out, because again, if we ignore it, then we are helping them normalizing it. You know,
I don't. They also have prosthetics in there, which I saw as an interesting thing. I
I,
don't.
I'm fine with this, to be honest.
I don't. I'm not offended by it by any means. In the same way I would be the pronoun stuff. I just think that like, why? Like, why? What's the? Are there that many people driving with prosthetic arms and legs? And like, if you think that the answer is still no, and you're like, let's put it anyway. Well, then why aren't we putting in like eye patches? Maybe they have that. Why aren't we putting in glass eyes? Like,
Yeah.
like where does it really stop? And was this somebody on the development team that's like been affected by this? Okay, I guess maybe you have a reason behind it. It's just strange. And then I completely agree with you on the idea that it's being pushed, and one of the ways I can prove this is not, what I go to is I see a lot of coffee shops here in Canada, and they will have trans flags in the window or something, or they'll say all are welcome here in rainbows, as if we thought you gay people weren't allowed in like a grocery store or something, which is retarded. But
Yes.
they will put that, especially in coffee shops and video game stores too, and hobby shops too. Unfortunately, a lot of them. But if they saw, and we see with the Magic the Gathering guy, if we saw something having a Trump flag in their window or a Republican flag or something in their window, people would freak out. They would say this is obviously political, and they would probably, since they're violent, a lot of leftists are violent, they would probably smash the windows or something. But they put this trans flag or whatever, they put identity and pronouns in it, and they say, well, what's the issue? I don't understand. This isn't political. This is just acceptance. So I think it's a very, childlike view of things where, the Principal Skinner, the Simpsons meme, the children are wrong. It's very like, no, I'm in charge here. I know what the correct thing is, and the correct thing is they, them pronouns, zim, zer. And you're crazy. Everybody else is crazy but me, even though I'm the one changing everything. That's my opinion on it.
Well, how can I mean, for example, the prosthetics stuff, right? It's definitely made. I mean, people that care about this are definitely progressive slash woke people. That it's they're doing always, I would say. But at the same time, it isn't a political statement, because it's not part of the, there is not a
Right.
movement of, no, so that's the key difference here. And what you mentioned, you don't need rainbow slash trans slash two spirits. I don't know, there's fucking so many nowadays, so many different words for gay people now, and in this movement, but because, I mean, you don't need it in order to tell these people that they are welcome. Because, for example, what about dwarfs, midgets? Do you have a flag to tell them that they are welcome? Brazilian people, do you have a flag for telling me that I'm welcome? Because if you guys do not have, then that does that mean that I am not welcome? They'll say, no, that doesn't mean everybody's welcome. So why only these people need you telling them? It's because they want to make a statement. It's because it's a political statement. They're not saying this. When they do this kind of stuff, they're not doing it or saying or know anything to actually let gay people know that they are welcome. This isn't a message for them. This is a message for the other people. They want to say to other people, like the straight people, right wing people, hey, I'm a leftist and I support the gay cause. That's what in the end, that's what they want to. That's what they're saying in the end. And this is why it is a political statement. In the Forza's case, I'm not sure if they have rainbow flags or trans flags or this kind of stuff. And just to mention, all games in the list, if new evidence shows up, I will update and I will update the game article inside the list. But many people tell me, hey, Kabrutus, you forgot to add this, you forgot to add that in this game. Bro, I try to choose one good evidence enough to put the game in the list, because I'm just one man. I'm just a single guy. So if I gonna go to list everything that every game has is gonna take me a lot of
You,
time.
you'll
Maybe in the
also have
future, if
to
I get a good sponsor, I don't know. But right now, I can't.
you'll also have to play the entire game, which is
Yeah,
what Pacific Drive. I don't know if you know that game. I
I
played
know.
it for
I
about
mean, it looks interesting, to be honest.
it was for the first 15 hours, and then they you can put decals on your car, and not only was it just trans and gay flags. Oh no, they had every single like variation, probably like 50 different flags to put on
Jesus.
your car, like the demisexual and the tri. I don't even know what they're called, but every single one.
Is that a
And
flag for Brazilian straight male? Because I want it.
that I believe is just the colors green and yellow that you guys love so much.
Yeah, yeah,
Or just
yeah.
a picture of Ronaldinho on your shirt. How about that?
That could work.
His beautiful face. All right, Kabrutus, I want to let you go now. I
Sure.
want to finish on your hair. I see that it's very long now. Is this a conscious decision? Is this out of laziness? It's a magnificent mullet. The fans want to know, all right?
This is a very conscious mullet. Look at this. Right now, it's not looking the best because my cat is rubbing herself against the microphone. She likes doing it like all the time. But I have to. It's kind of too long. I have to, but I mean, just cat stop. She's gonna drop the camera at some moment. So yeah, thank you for asking. I know my hair is looking beautiful. It is a very self-conscious mullet. It is.
Okay.
It is. I love the 80s, so I mean, why not having a
Nice.
mullet? I used to have a very long hair, like here, no, not a mullet, just straight long hair. Um, and I've cut it like 3 years, 2 years ago, after spending like 20 more years with a long hair, and I was kind of missing heavy on long hair. So I mean, why not a mullet? Mullet is so badass, bro. I love the 80s. I love the 80s style. I see that you also love the 80s and 90s. I'm looking at your movies. No,
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles, the first movie is so good, bro.
I saw it
Actually,
in theaters recently. It came out in
dude,
theaters again.
I know. I actually like the three of them. I like Ninja Turtles 3. I know
You
many people
like
do not.
Ninja Turtles 3,
I do. I
Kabrutus?
do. I do. It was the first of them that I watched because I was just a little kid. No, so it really left a mark in my. It was the first of them. My favorite one is you're gonna is the second one. Is my favorite. I actually like it more than the first one.
Okay, that's a whole other
Dude,
podcast.
dude, the second one is so good. Why don't you like it?
It's not that I don't like it. That's the one I watched a lot at my cousin's house when I was a kid. I still like the second one, but I think the first one is, and again, this is a whole second podcast, is dark and gritty. I don't know if you know what the word gritty would mean. The same way the Dark Knight or Batman Begins is gritty,
I
that
know.
sort of thing. And I
I
think the
agree.
action scenes are good. It's not as cheesy as the second one.
No, yeah, I mean, let me say the first one is way more faithful to the comics, and I agree it is the best out of the three. I agree with this.
Thank you.
I would say that the first one is one of the best, if not the best, movie comic to movies
Mm-hmm.
adaptation we had in history. It's just that the second one, I have more fun with the second one. I know if they making jokes all the time. I know it is more adventurous. You know, the third one is the most adventurous of all of them.
You know
But the
what?
second one, okay, go
Mm-hmm.
ahead. The
I was gonna.
oozing is so good.
I was going to say when I saw it, I went with I think 4 or 5 friends. They did it for one weekend, a couple months ago. I think July or August, and I realized that it's all Italians because it's in New York, obviously. But it's just
Mhm.
the turtles are Italian. The kids in the Foot Clan are Italian teenagers. It's a lot of Italians. Casey Jones is played by a Greek guy.
It's
I think
because they
that's
love
why.
pizza, bro. It's because they love
Yeah,
pizza.
there you go. I didn't even think about that. And
It's
then,
because they love
and
pizza, bro.
another thing I thought about Kabrutus, if the next time you watch any of them, think about this. They
Okay.
are whatever, 18 years old, gigantic mutant turtles. I'd say around like 6'2" to 6'5", 6'5"
15 years
tall.
old, actually. 15 years old.
My apologies, but they're gigantic and muscular. And
Yeah.
they're beating up teenagers that are in the Foot Clan because you see them in the movie. The kids are training. They're like 17 years old, maybe 18 when they're on the street. They're
Yeah.
getting beaten up by giant mutants and knocking them out. They say that in one part of the movie. They say we need to get information out of them so don't knock them all out. And I think it's Leonardo or whichever one punches the guy in the face, their hands are the size of their head. They're breaking people's jaws, Kabrutus, and like brutally beating up teenagers who are trying to kill them, obviously, or at least kidnap them. But still, if you think about it, it's really violent. It's actually very violent.
Ninja Turtles, I mean, the first comics especially are very violent. And you know what I find very funny in these movies is that it's like you said, they are huge. But in the comics, they're supposed to be very tiny, like 1.5 meters at most.
I see.
Tall. Yeah, they are tiny. But in the movies, I guess because of the suits and this kind of stuff, they are very big, actually. And it's true. I mean, they are huge, and they are mutants, and they have like superhuman strength.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot get beefy like that living in the sewers, So they had to have some mutation in their genes that allowed them to become like that.
You might say there was an ooze involved.
Ooze, yeah. Is
that the same title in Portuguese? The Secret of the Ooze?
It's the direct translation. Segredo, Tartarugas Ninjas 2, Tartarugas Turtles Ninjas, I guess, right? Dois, which means 2. O Segredo do Ooze, the secret of the ooze.
It's pretty straightforward.
In this case, but don't get me wrong, there are some movies name translation that it's completely stupid. Stupid. We have here.
What about like the Terminator?
O Exterminador do Futuro.
That's pretty long.
Terminator is Exterminador. Do Futuro means from the future. So the Terminator from the future. For example, The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I fucking love John Carpenter and that movie. Here in Brazil, it's called O Enigma de Outro Mundo.
A giant enigma or something?
No. Enigma de Outro Mundo means the enigma from another world.
I see.
Mundo. Why is that? Because the thing means a coisa. But we already had another movie named A Coisa here, so they had to come up with another name.
Interesting. See, I could do a whole show on asking you about
the fly
Brazil.
Is a mosca, which is literally a mosca here. No, a mosca is mosca is fly.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's interesting that we both had something about ticks today. And Ninja Turtles, obviously. I appreciate you. Maybe there'll be a rainbow prosthetic leg in Forza soon for us to talk about. What's your cat's name?
Her name is Mama because when I took her from the streets, she was pregnant and she gave birth to 4 female kittens. And we were trying, at the first we were planning on, okay, let's find some houses for these kittens because we cannot have them now. But in the end, we don't know. We don't want to separate the family. Let's keep all of them. So we have 10 cats here nowadays. Mama and her 4, which are way bigger than her. No, there's no way. One of her kittens are like huge and fat lady. No, we have in the house. But that's why she's called Mama, because when I took her, all my cats I took from the streets. All of them.
Very nice. Okay.
I love animals. See, I'm not a monster. I'm not a fascist.
He is. He's a monster, everybody. Brazil, cats, they're eating them. No. All right. See you next time.
See ya, bro. Thanks.